Hi there. I'm Tirsi, and I want to take a moment and thank you for being a part of this podcast. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I had started doing these 30-minute sessions, and many of you have signed up, and thank you for that. It continues to be so rewarding to just listen, listen to who you are, where you are, and to reflect back to you what I see about you that's so worthy, so beautiful, so deserving, so talented, so gracious, so loving, so kind. It's wonderful. And I've really, really appreciated the opportunity to do that. So you can continue to sign up for sessions. It's a donation basis on my website at tirsiengelhart.com. And I think it says work together. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for the time, in particular, the more kind of personal connection that I've been able to have with some of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, uh, just a reminder that, this podcast is really me sharing with you insights from my own journey, bits of wisdom that I've gleaned over the years, my 38 year of recovery from 20 years of dealing with addiction, mine of eating disorder. And again, I don't have your answers, you do, but sometimes we can hear things in other people's stories that helps us see something in our own story that gives us a little bit more freedom, a little bit more wiggle room, and just encourages us on our own journeys. So I love that. I appreciate that. And it has me show up week after week for the possibility of that. So again, thank you for being here. Some of you are new. Some of you have been with me for a really long time, and I'm grateful for all of you. So welcome. Today is the end of the series we've been in where I've been reading stories from my book. And today's story is called Cafe Gratitude. And after this week, I'll be returning to just sharing with you day to day insights as my husband and I take on this new journey of building a new farm and developing a new community here in northern Idaho. This will be the last week that I'm in this log cabin. Oh, maybe one more. Maybe one more. Next Thursday, we actually moved to our camper on the farm. So I'll be recording from a new place, probably our outdoor kitchen. Okay, so if you're following along, this is on page 82. It's chapter 52. The date is 2005. It's actually 2004. That's the year we opened Cafe Gratitude. So here we go. Standing on the opposite side of the street in the Mission District of San Francisco, looking at the lit cafe the night before we opened our doors, I realized I had come full circle. We were creating an opportunity for people to celebrate with those that they love without feeling guilty about what they ate or what they drank. They would be able to toast one another with a healthy green drink served in a beautiful wine glass and stay present rather than slowly numbing themselves. Our handful of new employees were taking on practicing being grateful, no matter what the circumstances of their lives were, and being acknowledged as the leaders they had perhaps never known themselves as. People would be coming in and just ordering a drink or something to eat, affirming the best of who they are. It was my way of giving back what I had been given. And the lesson or the message at the bottom says there is always, always something to be grateful for. So first of all, I also want to share with all of you that, I was 54 when we opened the first Cafe Gratitude, which is now 18 18 years ago. And so wherever you are in your life, it's not too late. You're not behind. There's still lots ahead of you. And even where I sit today, I can still see that while there's less ahead of me, I can still see that there's plenty to look forward to. So being grateful, remember, isn't based on our circumstances. Being grateful is a way of being that you and I can take on regardless of our circumstances. And again, it's access to living in grace, which is the subline of this book. Living in grace by choice, because we choose it. We choose to be grateful. I don't know about you, but if you've ever traveled to a developing country, you can see people and children that have so much less that we do. And yet they're happy, they're joyful, and they're oftentimes some of the most grateful people I know. So if those of us here in the West, where we have so much, could actually practice being more grateful, I suspect nothing would have a bigger impact on those that have less than us being grateful for all that we do have. Because as I've shared with you before, grateful people do different things with their resources than people who aren't grateful. So take that on this week. And then look and see, how can you serve? How can you start to give back from what you've been given? How can you stay in that flow, that unceasing flow of everything, by staying in the channel of exchange, like being responsible for more, giving more, sharing more, letting more in, giving more, sharing more, stewarding more. The more when we give is also the more space that's created that we're able to actually receive. And if you think about that in the terms of love, the more you love, the more you'll experience being loved. So, as we wrap up this book, thank you for being a part of it with me. And really take on this week that the access to grace is the choice to be grateful. And see if you can't find all of the ways in which you can be grateful that perhaps you've never quite noticed before. And in that state of gratitude, give generously, give fully, give wholeheartedly, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I'll see you next week.